Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Indie Creative Comics Podcast, where we are all about independent comics. I'm one of your hosts, Angel, with John Pepe.
How's it going, Angel?
Did you always have like that devious smile, like you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing? When I take that graphic off, and it's unnerving. I've been meaning to tell
I
you
am
that.
I
So,
am here to unnerve you.
yes, it's all good. All right, guys, welcome to the Indie Creative Comics Podcast. This is our very special episode of the Indie Creative Spotlight. We're really excited to have
Very
creators.
excited.
We've been busy with creators, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been a
but
busy couple of weeks since the new year.
and this is one busy creator. This is this is the man's the definition of go big or go home. This guy's a multimedia franchise that we're going to talk
I
about.
concur. And you know what? With all the conversations that we've been having with, being able to take this medium across different mediums, this is somebody who's actually trying to attain that or is attaining it. So, yeah, so without further ado, we have Owen Ratliff, who is the creator of Black Salt. So let's pop him in.
Hey, hey, how you
Hey!
guys?
How are you, Owen?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
All right, well, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so you gave us a whole bunch of stuff, and pretty much everybody that comes to watch our shows knows what this is about. We're really focusing on giving voices to, not the mainstream stuff that they can get all over the place, but sort of like off the cusp, really great storytellers that are out there, just trying to spread the word. So we're here. We have a lot to talk about because I have a ton of questions because
Okay.
over the last couple of weeks, John and I have really been digging into, we mostly talk about comics, but there are a lot of creators that we talk about that have been able to, you know, jump from one medium, the comic medium, to other mediums like small television, large screen, whatever it is, video games and stuff like that, which is it's pretty cool. And we had Joe Brusha, I don't know if you know who he is. He's the co-founder of Zenoscope, which is another uh, comic imprint. And
Okay.
they were able to take one of their properties that they do and put it onto the small screen and talked about all the struggles of dealing with like the Hollywood type of people,
Yeah.
which is different from the comic people. But everything is sort of like a small universe. Everybody kind of knows each other. But before we go too far, because you'll notice that I go off on tangents because of my ADHD, let's talk a little bit about you. Let's start with like your superhero origin, and because we're talking about comics, did you read comics when you were younger?
Yeah, I read comics, and you know what's funny? I actually came from the music business.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to have. Okay, I'm from LA. I grew up with Suge and Dr. Dre and all of those guys and Easy. But I moved to Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and I had one of the biggest independent record labels back then.
Huh.
I worked on the Blade soundtrack, the Bulwer soundtrack, Better Way to Die. I got gold and platinum plaques and stuff. So I actually, came from the music.
Not so you worked on the Blade soundtrack.
Yes,
Dude, I love that series.
yes,
That series is fantastic. I mean, all most people complain about part three, but I mean, two's my favorite. One will always be in my heart. But yeah, that was a great series. So you did
yeah,
what? You worked on the soundtrack itself?
yes,
Oh, awesome. Okay,
yes.
all right, continue.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I started. Like I said, when I was young, my uncle had a bunch of comics. He was a big comic book fanatic. So when I used to go spend time with him over the summer, I'd find myself out there, just reading comic books and stuff like that.
Does anything
So
pop into mind? Like, what do you remember? What you read, or any of the titles?
I read like Spawn. I
Okay,
like Spawn, and I like the Black Panther
okay,
because he was kind of like on the pro black thing. I'm mixed. My mother's Spanish and my father was black, but he
okay.
was on that. He was on that pro black thing, so he had a lot of the black comics and stuff back then. So I
That's
kind
funny.
of
And most people don't even realize that Spawn is a black action hero.
yes,
And when it
yes,
came out in what was it, 94, 95?
yes.
Yeah, and I say it all the time, and I have to say it again. That was the first comic that I ever bought with my own money. So
Okay,
I was in my teens and had my first job, and yeah, Spawn was just there. And it's funny that because the guy that created him, Todd McFarlane,
yep.
is as far from black as you can think
Far
of.
from it.
But he used like life experience, not life experience that he had, but the people in his life. Because Wanda is the name of his wife, and that's the name of the lady in the book, because the wife in the book and stuff like that. And I can't remember. There was an interview that he had done, and I can't remember what was the reasoning of making him black and stuff like that. And I remember that at that time, that it wasn't even an issue.
Mm.
Like no one ever brought it up because he was always wearing a costume, right? And then
Uh-huh.
when he was unrevealed, he was all burnt up. And then when he got his backstory, then you saw what he was and stuff like that. But I don't ever remember it being sort of like at the forefront of anybody's mind because it was all about the story itself, which I thought was pretty cool in that respects. All right, so you grew up pretty much. That's like the '90s era and stuff like
Yes,
that.
yes, yes,
Black Panther stuff. Did you read any
yeah.
milestone stuff? Because that was sort of like the
Yeah, I read just a couple, but I really didn't. Really, I really didn't know really who they were. You know what
Mm.
I'm
okay.
saying? So I really
Yeah.
didn't know who they were. So I never read a lot. The only one I read was Static Shock. That's
Okay.
been
Yeah, yeah.
how I learned of them. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all the things that they were doing and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I got into the animation before I got into the comic for Static Shock
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
I really liked it. All right. So then you had some comic experience and stuff like that.
Yes.
So then
Yes.
we're moving forward. So a lot of music background. So I could already see sort of like this multimedia background already.
Yes. Yes.
I
See
could already see
the
your
the music taught me how to develop and produce. So because I produce and I was my I own the label, so I produce it, and then I had to market it. So I would put all of the packaging together and all of that. And I did something a little different, because back then the music industry, it's tough to get into. So I kind of went into the chain stores, and what I did. So when I was in Columbus, I saw a friend of mine and I saw his used car commercial on BET and MTV. And I said, man, I know he ain't got no money. So how
mm,
did he get those commercials? Because, everybody thought back then, man, that's probably, $10,000 to do a commercial,
right, right,
get
right.
what you do. So I went and talked to him and he said, man, at nighttime, late at night, I pay $5 a spot. And then, I did from that to $50. And I said, oh my God. So, because like a lot of the chain stores weren't taking, people who weren't big wasn't taking their CDs and stuff. So Media Play, they had turned me down. So what I did, I shot the commercial and then put, available at Media Play, Best Buy, and all that. So I went back in and I showed them all of the spots that I had bought,
Hmm.
for Media Play, and they like, wow, they're like, okay. So they put my first song that we did. It was D Mad Clown. I dressed him up as a clown, and he came out of a Jack in the Box,
Okay.
and it did good, man. That thing blew up. So then I start doing more product, and I start buying listening stations and end cap. So what Media Play did, they said, if you want all of the stores in the Midwest, but you would have to ship the stuff.
Right.
So, and we give you a listening station, the end cap, and all that. So I did, and man, it was starting to do really good. Before you know it, I did, the media plays all over, the United States, and then I did Best Buy. So I was doing pretty good.
Right. You did a lot of hustling there.
Yeah. We was doing a lot of hustling. So I was able to, just like I said, take a product all the way to the end and
Right.
market it.
Yep.
So then as I was in the music, my mentor in LA, Al Slater, he worked for Paramount, and he was a producer and he was one of the accountants.
Hmm.
So I used to go on all the some of the big movie sets with him, and he saw the music videos and stuff that I did. He said, "Man," he said, "you would do good in the in the film industry." So we put together. I shot a movie called Unstable Minds,
Okay.
and we sold that to HBO.
Really?
Yeah, we sold that to HBO. And then after that, I said, I'm tired of every time you see minorities on TV or a movie, they're either dope dealers or not taking care of their kids or stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I said, you know what? I want to do a black hero, and not necessarily a superhero because I didn't want him to have like a Superman powers. So, I was into martial arts when I was little. So I said, kung fu. I said, and then I was into the Wu-Tang Clan and all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that's
Uh,
kind of where that came in. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna put a comic book together. So I did the first 4 issues, and then I kind of started getting bored because I was into the movies. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna shoot a 30-minute, mini feature.
mm-hmm.
So I shot it, and then HBO was having a contest. So I entered it, and out of 350 films, I took first place.
Nice.
Yeah, and the prize was some money and a licensing deal with HBO for
Okay.
26 months. So it went on there, man, and it did really well. And when we came off, I had a lot of investors, saying, "Hey, what about your feature?" And my mother wasn't feeling good, man, and I took her to the doctor, man, and she was diagnosed with cancer.
Uh,
So I end up putting the project on the shelf, man, for like 5 or 6 years.
mm-hmm.
And I became her caregiver, man. I took care of her until she passed, man. I laid in the bed when she
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
yeah. So about a year and a half ago, I said, you know what, man, let me take black salt back off the shelf and try it again. So I developed the feature. I did the development, the script, and everything. I said, you know what? I got to finish this comic book because, like I said, I had the first 4 issues done,
Right, right.
and I needed 5 and 6. Now I had already the scripts were already written and everything. So I said, you know what? What I want to do is do 5 and 6, and then turn it into a graphic novel. Put them all together because
Right.
graphic novels, they say, sometimes gives you a better, push. So this is kind of where I'm at now, with the Kickstarter to do 5 and 6.
Okay.
I'll touch up some of 1 and 4, 1 through 4, and then I want to do the graphic novel.
Okay. So let me go back a little bit. So you had
Okay.
this concept of black salt.
Uh-huh.
Um, you had the very beginning idea. Now,
Uh-huh.
did you want it to always be a movie first, or did you want it like why did it become a comic book? Why did you choose the comic book medium?
Well, the reason why is because I thought properties that come from comic books or graphic novels, when you're doing a movie, you have a better chance
Mm.
than just doing a movie.
It's a proven, it has a proven audience or a
Yes.
built-in
Yeah.
audience. It's, if it
Yes.
does well, then, there's eyes on it. Yeah, we see that a lot in the comic industry. Yeah.
And actually, I wrote the first movie script, and then that's what the comic book came from.
Mm.
I didn't do the comic first because,
Yeah.
after I got in with my mentor, I was real heavy into the movies.
Mhm.
So did you
So
find the transition from writing a script to writing a script for comics different? Or-
yeah, it was a little different. It was different, and I had to get some help because, like I said, I was used to the movie script.
Right. Right.
So I brought in a writer, but it was easy because I had already had a movie script.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
he said, "Wow," he said, "this will be easy."
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, because it's a completely different medium,
Yes,
for sure. And it's, movies are a visual medium, but they do offer. I mean, you got the dialogue, you got the music that gives you sort of like the emotional connection that you're supposed to have to the film.
yes,
So you
yes,
have a more three-dimensional. There's more texture there when you're looking at film. And when you're looking at the comic medium, you're trying to use the least amount of words because it's
yes.
it's a mostly visual sequential art
Right, right.
medium, and allowing a little bit of the reader to use their imagination to
Yes.
bring it to life. So yeah, so it's cool that all right. So you created Salt. So did you draw any of it, or I mean, you wrote the script, or did you have like a creative team do that?
I wrote the first draft,
Okay.
and then I brought some people in to help me tighten it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's a lot. I mean, most people do that. You have very few creators that like do it all. That
Yes.
write, draw, and paint and stuff like that. It's very taxing. It takes a long time. You have mostly creative teams. We were working with who were we working with a while back. I think we were talking to somebody, John, and they're just a writer, and they have artists that they work with and colors that they work with. So it's not
Malcolm
uncommon to have an
McFadden, yeah.
entire team. Was
Yeah,
that?
Malcolm McFadden
Yep.
starting his own, milestone type universe of books that he's self publishing, and he hires out, he pays out artists to do the work, which is always a
Yes.
risky thing. So you had basically you have a creative staff as well. You did the first draft, somebody
Yes.
polishes up the script, and
Yes.
then you sought out an artist to do the
Yes.
first 4 chapters, and so
Yes.
now here we are attempting to finish 5 and 6.
Yes.
Is the whole band back together? Do you have the
No,
same
no,
art?
no, no. I got a totally new group. Yeah, I
Mhm.
got a totally new group of
Okay.
people.
So
Yeah.
then, where's the end of the story? Does it finish at 6, or does it leave room for it to continue with
Yeah,
additional?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It finishes, but he can continue on. He can continue on.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. So then, give us what is Black Salt about?
Okay, so Black Salt and his mother, lived in Compton because I did. So it kind of was me in a sense. And his father didn't come back from the Gulf War, and they
Mm,
didn't know if he was killed or what had happened. So the mother, Black Salt's mother, his name is Sam. So his mother, she was a teacher for music, you know. So when she went to college, she had a Chinese. Her best friend was Chinese from China.
mm,
So Sam was kind of he was like 10, 11, and he was kind of starting to get, growing up in Compton, kind of starting to run with the bad guy, the kids and stuff like that. So the mother, her friend offered her to come to China and do music, with English and stuff like that. So and then, with the father, he never came home from the war and they didn't know what was
mm.
wrong. So she said, you know what? Let me take my son and let him experience something different for a couple years. So when they got there, about a month, they were in one of the villages and some thugs killed her.
Hmm.
So a Shaolin master, he was walking, he saw what was going on, and by the time he ran over there, she was already, dead, but he saved Sam. And he said, "Oh, can I take you to the consulate?" Or, Sam said, "I don't have nobody."
Hmm.
So Ubai Shek was the master, so he took him in, and he kind of raised him in secret because I put it was forbidden to teach outsiders some of those Shaolin techniques. So he trained him till he was 18, 19. And then he had a friend in America, Bernie Toombs, who worked for the CIA.
Hmm.
So he told Toombs about Sam, and Toombs kind of, looked after him. And when he got there, Toombs saw how skilled Sam was. I mean, Sam weapons. I mean, you spend 12 years just that one-on-one.
Right. Right.
Sam was amazing with the whole Shaolin and all of that. So he became a CIA agent, and he ended up marrying Bernie Toombs' sister. He ended up marrying
Hmm.
her sister. And so that's kind of where the whole CIA Shaolin thing came in.
So he becomes a CIA operative.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
nice.
it's got a lot of James Bond vibes to it from the
yes.
material that I've
Yeah.
seen. The I haven't seen the mini feature, but I watched a couple trailers on that.
Okay.
Really neat action beats and just a good, solid, strong lead character. So it's interesting. So you created this character Black Salt in 2008, correct?
Yes,
Yep.
yes,
And
yes.
then quick turnaround, comic book, movie within 2 years because the mini feature was in 2000.
Okay, well, let me take that back. About 2005 is kind of when I started this
2005
idea and stuff,
percolated.
kind
Yeah.
of, and stuff like that. And
So
then what was funny when I was in Columbus, I was on the board of the Arnold Classic. I don't know if you guys heard of that. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a big classic every year in Columbus, and all of so the bodybuilders conventions on one side and the martial arts is on the other.
Oh, there's a martial arts aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. So it's funny. I had a booth there, I would say in 2008, and Wesley Snipes had came, and he was interested in playing Black Salt when he saw
really.
But then, like I said, he got in trouble with all of the tax stuff
with the government.
With the government and all of that. So I ended up moving to Las Vegas, because my mother, I wanted to kind of start taking care of her.
Yeah.
And then so I shot the proof of concept in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the director, Ben Ramsey, he did Blood and Bones, like Ben did some stuff.
Yeah. Oh, so there we go. So there you go. 3 words. Michael J. White.
Okay, so I'm gonna move to that.
That's your Black Salt right there. But
okay. That's who I originally wrote Black Salt for.
I can see it.
Was Michael J. White. So his teacher in LA was a real good friend of my ex-girlfriend. So we wanted to get Michael, and Michael was interested. He read the script and he liked it, but his teacher's wife, she kind of because I had never met him. I was kind of go between them two, and sometimes when you go between people and you can't speak to that person yourself, and it ended up becoming a misunderstanding and stuff like that. And it didn't.
Yeah, it's always that 6 degrees of separation.
It's funny though, because you mentioned Michael J. White, who was Spawn in the Spawn movie, and Wesley Snipes, who was Blade. And that's the thing, is the landscape at which you created Black Salt in 2005, finally get the comic in 2008, mini feature in 2010. A great thing that
No, the mini feature was 2015.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So okay. Gotcha, 10 years ago, right? And great thing you did with the mini feature was opening up the soundtrack to younger artists, trying to get their music out there. You're kind of paying it back, right? I think that's really cool. And so the landscape, though, at that point when you were developing all of this was very different, because
way different.
You were looking to fill a gap that at that point really it was Spawn movie as far as action heroes and Blade as far as comic to film Black action heroes. And I've always said I wish we lived in a world where Action Jackson really took off as a movie. And Carl Weathers
I love that movie though.
It's a great movie, and I wish
Action Jackson.
I wish it was a franchise as big as Rambo and Terminator though. I really wish that. I think the world would have been a better place if Carl Weathers was in that trilogy, right? And so in the time that unfortunately you had to step away from all of this, and life gets in the way, right?
Life gets in the way.
What happens when you're busy making other plans, right? As John Lennon said, right? So the landscape has significully changed, and in that time, you've had Black Panther movie, Luke Cage series, Miles Morales and Spider-Man, Too Many Spider-Mans. You have Black Lightning carrying a series, but the one commonality that I see of all these characters, except for Static Shock, because Milestone was what it was as far as who it was created by. None of those characters were created. They were all created by white people. They were not created by Black guys. And Black creators are very important. And so I think it's great that you saw this niche and you tried to fill it.
Yes.
I'm sorry that you had to step away, but I'm really glad you're back. And what a great way to celebrate what is now 21 years since this started growing in your head. I think that's amazing.
And what's sad, my mentor, he died too.
That
worked for Paramount, because he had back surgery and something happened and it ended up killing him. Because had he not passed away, he had all the connections.
Right.
So Hollywood is nothing but, and when I came back, it's worse now than it was ever was back then. You know, the
I don't know if
way.
Paramount's a place you want to be working at anymore. But anyway, go on.
Well, I mean, they're buying out Warner Brothers, right? They can't be doing
Yeah.
too bad.
But it's
Who knows
just
if that's a
changed,
good
man. It's like they ruined, because you know they ruined the music industry.
Mm,
That got ruined. You know, when NAFTA came,
right.
I saw what was happening. I said, it's the end of the music industry, because now, you know, getting 3 cents, you know, for, you know, what do they call it? These, how you get paid, a stream.
The
Come on,
stream, yeah.
man.
right.
I mean, you can't. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just and you know, I'm going to tell you what killed the music industry and what killed the film industry. Okay, so let's take the music industry. So, you know, back, say, in the 90s, if you wanted to go to the studio, it costs, you know, 150, 200 an hour.
Mm,
But as technology started to go, you could go to, you know, Best Buy and you can get you something for $300, and you
yep.
can, you know, you can record and all of that. And same with the cameras and the phone, you know, camera phone. So the entertainment industry is so saturated with people that shouldn't be in it, because it's so cheap
Mm-hmm.
to now come in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think is, you know, kind of ruined. And then now you got all the woke stuff and all that just taking this thing, you know, even
Yeah.
so.
Well, you know what though? I think it's a different challenge. I think because people have access, because it's the same thing in the comic industry now too. It's so much easier to make a comic now than
Yeah,
it was in the 80s. If you wanted to
yeah,
break into the comic business itself, it's so much easier now, especially with really great creative independent creators. Like you don't have to run to DC or Marvel to get your stuff out there.
right.
You can actually be quite successful without them and own the rights to everything. I think everything changes no matter what.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
my parents were born in the 50s. You know, I was born in the 70s. From the 50s to the 70s, so much stuff changed. Our language changed. You know, I listen to my daughter who's 18 now. I don't understand half the shit she's talking about, and it's generational, right? It
Yeah,
happens in every generation, and in every generation you have something that you know that becomes it's remarkable how it changes for us because we came from that Gen X, that pre-internet stuff.
yes.
Everything we had to do was manual,
Was manual, yes.
but it wasn't controlled by us. It was controlled by entities who owned the money.
Right,
So
right, right.
whoever owned the money said, hey, you get airtime. Hey, you get, you know, airtime for TV. Hey, you get to make this comic book. So those guys who had the money made the decisions. Now we get into sort of like the internet age and we get into the technology age where every, you know, Dick and Jane can actually make something. I agree with you 100%. Not everybody should be making shit.
Right, right.
So the challenge now is not that people are this it's overly saturated, which it is. It's being able to navigate through the things that you don't like or should not be doing it to find the gems that you wouldn't normally be able to find because the studio is telling you you can do it.
Right.
Rather than there's some really gifted people out there that we found. I mean, there's books that we've read that probably would have never seen the light of day if it wasn't for Kickstarter.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
really, I mean, terrific stories. And it sucks because, like you said, and for us, it's different because the medium of music, the medium of movies, it's all an art medium, and
Yeah.
it's we want to say it's subjective, but there's a majority that knows that yeah, this sucks kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we're never like that. We're never like this. This is it's not for me. Sometimes the movie comes out and it doesn't make shit money, and then 30 years down the road, it's a cult classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody knows why. It just
Yeah.
becomes a cult classic. So
Mhm.
it's all these little strange things. So I agree, we're overly saturated, even in the comic industry, almost in every industry now, because technology is so accessible
Yes. Yeah.
to everybody.
Everybody can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but I think the creators that are really good will shine. So and I think they need that competition because I think, you know, we've also gotten to a place where people have gotten very complacent. Like it's crazy that most people don't want to work anymore. They just either want to be famous or rich right away.
I know.
And
and that's the internet, like you said. That's
yes,
all the
yeah,
social media. That's the social media.
dude, influencers can make money off of how many people are following them, and then they get sponsorship and stuff like that. So, but those are not they're not a large percentage either. They're a very small percentage, but they're out there, and everybody wants that route rather than us growing up in the 80s and 90s where we literally had to put in our time for that. And as somebody who has put in their time to see a kid come in 5 minutes and make triple of what I make because he's able, but I can't fault him because you know what? That's that generation now.
Yeah.
So all I can do is rather than bitch about him is learn from him.
Yes.
The only thing that sucks is my 50-year-old brain doesn't want to learn anything new and whatnot. So, but I get it. So it's a constant tug and pull. There's an appreciation on my end for where things are going. I know where we are now. I know where we've been, and we're sort of like in that transitional phase of we worked really hard. We still have a story to tell.
Yes.
But there's all this new stuff that's accessible to everybody, so it can be quite frustrating in that sense. So I get it, but I think as long as your idea is solid, and you're relentless, and you have drive, and you have a plan, which is what we find that when we speak to most, and when I say kids, I'm talking about like 20s and maybe even early 30s. A lot of the times they have really great ideas. It's the direction. They don't have the entire plan planned out and stuff like that, which makes it really difficult. And for you to be, you created your Black Salt. So I'm gonna go off on a tangent right now too because it's sticking in my brain. Why the title Black Salt? Where does that come from?
I was reading a magazine. I was in a dentist's office and I was reading a magazine, and it was saying how black salt is one of the strongest salts out of the salts. So that's what, and since he was a black superhero, that's what it kind of represented. You know what I mean? Strength and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I came up with black salt.
It's a freaking badass code name too.
Yes.
For a CIA agent and stuff like that. So, all right. So listen, I think it's awesome. I think you finishing off like the first part of the graphic novel is really cool. I think if is that you? Oh, I thought that was me.
Yeah,
it's all good. Because I think if you that's a base that will definitely, if you transfer over to another medium, whether it's movies, short film, whatever it is. I saw the video game clip that was on there. I thought that was pretty cool. And I think, John and I talk about it a lot. I tend to find myself as a purist almost. Like if you're doing a comic, write the comic for the comic fan. And then if you're going to go into another medium, then transfer it to that medium. Because we've read a ton of comics, and it's, we don't fault anybody for wanting to expand, which is good. But I think because each medium is its own thing, we've read comics that felt like a treatment to a series or a movie. And for a lot of us, they're not fun because we know that it's being written for something else. Rather than the comic fan themselves. And a lot of times you'll have, and comics they're meant to be like over the top and outrageous and unbelievable. And sometimes when you're reading a comic that feels like a treatment, then it's almost like you're doing homework for something else kind of thing.
And see, that's why I got, that's why I had to go and get a comic writer. And that's why he helped me take it, back to the comic book. You know what I mean? But he said this was good because he already had a full script and everything like that. So he didn't have to do it from scratch.
Right.
Yes. So
but there's certain mechanics that need to be reworked, and they always equate like the penciler, the artist, to the director of the film and cinematographer, right? Almost at the same time. Or you could say the colorist does that as well. So again, you got to kind of translate that language, that film speak, that script speak, to comic script panels versus exterior and whatever, or smash cut or things like that.
Yes. Now with the actual creation of the characters, because if we didn't draw anything, how was that relationship between you and the artist? Like when you gave them the direction to say, okay, this character, like if you tell me this is Michael Jai White, then I know what I'm drawing. It's going to be a big muscular guy who knows how to fucking move. Who's
well, since I wanted kind of Michael Jai White to play, see, I already knew. I mean, I really wrote Black Salt for Michael Jai White.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I kind of already had.
Yeah, there's been books like that. Because if we look at what is it, Most Wanted, that was written for Eminem.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Wanted was
the main character is Eminem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and J.G. Jones, the artist, really kind of drew, a lot of artists cast actual actors in the comics. That's sort of how like Sam Jackson winds up playing Nick Fury in a roundabout way, because he wanted to be involved, and Brian Hitch had already drawn Ultimate Universe version of Nick Fury. He cast Sam Jackson in that role basically on the page. So yeah, that happens a lot. So yeah, you writing that, I mean, that happens in screenwriting as well. You write a project, if not for yourself, then for someone else to play that part, that you have in mind. So you have Michael Jai White as your vision, and so how do you approach that to the artist? How do you give the information to the artist? I think is
and more of like the ancillary characters, like characters that are not Michael Jai White. Like, how was that process?
See, I kind of, like I said, man, I'm very analytical. Like I write stuff out, I break everything down and stuff. So like one of the characters, Horse Ripper, she's blind.
Okay.
Shaolin was off the chain, so I kind of knew how I envisioned her. So I just kind of wrote it out, and I remember he said, your notes, man, they're so he just, I kind of gave him like a blueprint.
Okay.
And then he just started drawing.
And when he came back with it, did he nail it?
So some of them he nailed, and some of them we had to, I write the notes. Okay, let's try this, let's try that.
Yep.
But it was a fairly good process because a lot of times people don't know what they want. Mm-hmm. But I knew exactly, what I wanted.
Nice.
And then how was the transition with the current artistic team, going from the previous people you worked with to the new team?
Well, see, there again, they had something that they had the first 4 issues to look at. I mean, that's great.
So they were able to just pick up the ball and roll with it.
Just start picking up the ball and start doing it.
Like music.
I had all the characters, and I mean, I have everything.
Yeah, like improvisational jazz. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so this Kickstarter that you're launching is going to be for issues 5 and 6.
Okay, 5 and 6, and then I'm gonna have a stretch goal because I want to touch up some of the art in 1 through 4.
Okay.
So with the stretch goals, but yes, for 5 and 6 with a stretch goal. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're gonna be able to have like back issues as well. So if somebody wants to get issues 1 through 4, they'll be available.
Yep, they're available. And then the DVD for the mini feature is available too.
Cool, nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So it's going to be one of the rewards.
Yeah, let me show it to you. Here, let me grab it.
Oh man, I'm excited.
It has a shrink wrap, but I don't know. Can you kind of?
Oh, dude, that's a full-on DVD.
That's great.
I mean, I sold a ton of these.
Oh.
I mean, if you look at it, it's just like you go into Walmart and you got Blade. I mean, like my quality, and then I had T-shirts, hats, and beanies, and all of that stuff.
Oh, nice. All right. So when are you planning on launching?
I'm gonna launch in the next 2 months because, like, what I wanted. Because see, I raised the money on the crowdfunding for the mini feature. Okay. But you know what I noticed, man? Okay, so I raised the money 10 years ago for the mini feature. And like I was telling you about Saturated, when I just came back now to Kickstarter, I didn't know it, man, because it's 20 times harder to make money on Kickstarter now than like back then.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
Back then, I raised $40,000 in 6 days.
Right.
To do this.
Yep.
So what I'm doing, I'm taking a little extra time because I'm a marketing guy, and I learned
Right.
that from the music, like I told you. Like because a lot of people I see now that I'm back into the Kickstarter, they just launch and they're not gonna make it because nobody, it's a business. You got to
Right.
market it and stuff. So I was also trying to get my followers on my pre-launch page to like 800. I'm at
Right.
653 right now.
654.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I need. That's what I need.
No, that's good.
So
Yeah, like that follow base in the very beginning is really crucial because you take 20% of that, and that's the ones that'll kick off right away, and the other ones will dribble in or whatever it is and stuff like that. Now you do have Wiseacre Comics is launching.
okay, that's who's helping me. That's who's
Yeah.
helping
How
me.
did you hook up with them?
Because you're Ratty Entertainment, right?
Okay, yeah. I'm Ratty, and then So it was funny. So after I had finished developing the feature, I said, so when I decided, I said, you know what, I need to get back into the comics to finish these 2 issues. So I just was on the internet looking at companies, and I sent them email to ask, what did you think it is? Because I was trying to partner with somebody because I had lost my whole team. Like, so long had passed since I did the comics. I wanted to maybe get a comic company to kind of come back in and help me.
Right.
So Wiseacre was the first, when he read what I had, and he read the first 4, he said, "Oh man," he said, because the owner, he was stationed, and he just came back from the army. He was stationed over in Korea, and he had let some of his Korean friends read, and they went crazy. They said, "Man, this is good." You know what I mean? The whole Orient,
Right.
stuff like that. Because Afro Asian.
Yeah. Oh, so that's good.
So
Okay.
that's kind of how, and his artists and stuff. That's who's doing the artwork
Got
and
you.
stuff like that. So he's kind of helping me, and he's had like 10 successful crowdfunding campaigns.
Yeah, we know them as a publisher. We read some of their stuff because they're distributed through one of the distribution companies and stuff like that. Is that something that you're looking to doing as well, like getting into stores, comic book stores and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's funny, man, because I have the film, the merchandise, the video game. Because see, now I got to get back and finish, because my video game won at GDC, won some awards. The demo.
Okay.
Yeah, and the demo is on Steam.
Huh.
But like I said, when my mother got sick, I didn't get a chance to finish. It's kind of like I was right there.
Right.
Because I think like the video game could have blew up. You know what I mean? And that would have really helped catapult. So the reason why I created the franchise, because the film industry, they take your stuff from you. So I said, you know what? If I have to give up one of the properties, like maybe see, I also have the Black Salt Legend of New Shaolin, which is the animated series.
Okay. Oh my gosh, yeah, everywhere.
And I have the artwork already done, and I have the first pilot script done, and I have the treatments for the other 11 episodes.
Okay.
And what that was, Sam, which is Black Salt, his kids, he took them to a mythical world. It's called the Legend of New Shaolin, because that's where his master went to, and there you have like monsters and stuff like that. So he kind of took them to, because it's, since it's animation, I kind of changed up, and it was more about the kids,
right?
In the Legend of New Shaolin.
Okay.
And it opens to a more fantastical world too, with dragons and monsters.
Yes.
I do have a quick creative question about the 6 issues entirely. So are these 6 issues, are these the broken up film script, or was that the first 4 issues and these 5 and 6 are new outside of the original?
No, it was the same thing, because what I end up doing is I end up redoing a lot of stuff on the script, on the feature.
Yeah.
And I tell you what happened. So it was all kind of based in America and China. So I had sent the script some years ago to a friend of mine that lived in China. And he told me, he said, no, he said, because I had the villain was a Shaolin master, and that was part of the comic book. And he told me, no, he said, China wouldn't like that. They don't like to be looked at in a bad light. So he said, why don't you get the Japanese? And you know what? At first, I was very sad because those scripts were already written, but I thought about it. I said, you know what? By doing that, I bring in another minority, which is the Japanese, and I brought in the Yakuza.
Yakuza, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
They're already bad guys.
You see, so I mean, it was perfect, but he was like, no, don't do that. Because he said, use the Chinese because the Chinese, use the Japanese because they don't like each other. You know what I'm saying?
But the China is such a big market for film that you they're very careful about what does get played there and how they are portrayed on film. And so the pause that you had to take as far as your creative process as you come back to this story, some 5-6 years later, has anything changed in your creative process or in your life that you've put into these chapters 5 and 6, or is it still basically the same plan?
Yeah, it's basically the same. Like the more my changes come in the movie.
Okay.
More of my changes come in, when I'm changing up the movie script and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
So even if the movie gets made, it wouldn't be a 1-to-1 adaptation of the comic. The movie itself
it was some
will be a different
changes. Yeah, some changes.
Sort of be inspired from. Okay.
Yes,
so then you have all these different avenues that you're going down. Are you prioritizing any, or you working on everything all at the same time?
I'm working on right now the movie and the comic book.
Okay.
Because like I said, I think if I can get that graphic novel and I can get those 5 and 6 done, that'll give me a good comic book base.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To help me, with the movie. So that's what I'm working on. Because now in the movie, I'm in the packaging. Like I did most of the development already, and now I'm in the packaging. I'm looking for a sales agent right now to help me package.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna have to send you the one sheet for the movie because it has the movie link that you guys can watch the movie and you can see some of the characters who I'm interested in.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Like I like Donnie Yen to play You by Shaq.
Okay.
And I had Michael B. Jordan, but I had like 7 different characters for Sam.
Right. Yeah, I would have been my next. Would have been Michael B. Jordan. You got RZA. He loves kung fu, bro.
Yeah.
Well, but I think he's getting up there.
I would like to do because I would do the soundtrack because I know all of the. I would like me and RZA to do the soundtrack.
Nice.
And I got access to him, but me, I want to get everything. And you know what was funny? I actually shot. Okay, so I bought a verse from a company of RZA, and I shot I shot 3 music videos for Black Salt.
Did you?
Yeah, because I'm a music guy. So the last one that I shot maybe about 4 years ago, I got RZA's verse in that music video.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I saw there was a Black Salt movie YouTube channel, which I think you haven't done anything in the last 9 or so years on.
Yeah, because I'm just getting back.
So that would still be a place for people to go, not only for the past content but for stuff coming up in the future. Or is there another YouTube presence at this time? Or
like I said, I will go back and start. Because there's so much stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of enjoying everything.
Good. And blacksaltmovie.com, is that still a functional website for you?
Well, what? I just shut that down because I'm about to do a whole new thing now. Nice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm about to do a whole new thing right now.
All right, so that'd be cool. All right, so the next thing we're looking out for is the Kickstarter to be launching probably within the next.
I would say in the next 60 days.
The next 60 days.
Yes. I'll say the next 60 days. Like in May. I like to do it in May. Yeah.
All right.
Like
Yeah,
I
I mean,
said,
you got a decent amount of followers on there. I mean, and you hooked up with Wise A Comics. You know, they're a small press, but they're known, so that's a good thing. So you have their followers in there as well. So, yeah, listen, I'm looking forward to this launching because I like to see if I can get my hands on a copy of it, so that I can read it as well because it
I mean,
really
I can
does seem
send you
interesting.
if you want. I can send you one of the a digital copy of one of the issues if you want.
Dude, you'd be the man if you do that.
Okay,
I would
so
love to
what
read
I'll
it.
do, I'll send you that, and I'll send you the feature one sheet, and then you could see the 30-minute. You could see that, you can just play the link.
Oh, that'd be
Because the reason
fantastic.
why I don't give that out, because I'm selling that on the
Right,
comic side.
right.
Yeah.
But the one sheet for the movie, goes to all the producers,
Yep,
and it
yep,
goes
yep,
to
yep.
investors and stuff like that. You see what
All
I'm
right,
saying?
cool. All
Yeah.
right, so then we have the link to the Kickstarter and stuff like that. We'll put all of that stuff in the description.
Okay.
That way we can get you some more followers on there, and then by the
And
time
see,
May
I
comes
also
around,
have a landing page, and if they give me their email, they get a free copy, the free digital copy of issue 4.
oh
great.
really?
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's I had sent you that because that's actually on the one sheet for the comic book, and I think it's on that other sheet. It's on the other
Oh
sheet. I
yeah,
sent you.
free digital issue number 4 giveaway.
Yeah,
All right,
because what
cool.
I'm trying to do, and I'm still trying to build up my backer emails.
Right.
So I'm trying to build that up because the followers are doing like I would like to get to 1,000 followers if I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I said, I wanted to, as soon as I launch it, I wanted to like hit the first day or two and then start looking for the stretch goals, and then once if you hit that fast, the algorithm changes.
Correct.
If you meet your goal.
Helps you out. Yeah, the other thing on Kickstarter too is like the update section.
I've been
You can
doing
definitely
that.
pop in update sections there. Yeah, for
I've
sure.
been doing that. Yep, I just
so
sent.
definitely reach out to them.
Actually, I just sent out an update maybe about a week and a half ago,
Mhm.
and I showed some of the pages.
Oh, nice.
And then I also created a new line of collectible T-shirts.
Okay.
Yeah. I also did that where the whole comic cover is on in full is on, and people are loving
nice.
that. Yeah, people are loving that.
All right.
So I'm just
All
like
right,
I
so
said,
cool.
I'm a marketing guy, man, and I just kind of as I start creating.
I see that. And I see your brain's going all the time.
Yeah, it's just
All right, cool. So I have the 3 links: the Kickstarter pre-launch page link, the proof of concept trailer, and then the free digital issue 4. So I'm gonna actually attach that to the description of this video, so that way people can actually go to it, and check it out, and then hopefully they go on to Kickstarter and follow, so that when May rolls around, you got yourself a really successful campaign and stuff like that, which would be really cool.
Hey, but you guys are gonna like that. Like when you see the 30-minute, man, and like I said, I don't like to brag on myself, but
great trailer, great trailer, no doubt.
HBO, and I'll tell you what happened with HBO. When they were doing the the scoring of because it was a contest, they said, man, when they got to mine, they was like, they said, oh, he won.
Nice.
They said he won.
Nice.
Because you saw the intro, how I do the I kind of did it like Marvel, where
pages,
and people really they like that,
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe that conversation with Michael Jai White might open up again.
I was gonna say, I hope this blows.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? He's a little tainted with that whole situation because I tell you what happened. So I would say maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, a friend of mine went to Thanksgiving with him at his house, and he took the black salt because, like I said, man, for a while there, he was going to be Black Salt. And then Ben Ramsey, who directed it, directed him on Blood and Bone.
Right. Love that movie too.
So he saw the movie, and he's like, but he, my friend said he was a little like kind of still upset, because
a little salty. You could say.
A little salty, yeah. I never got to really talk to him.
Right.
You got all of these people doing your bidding for you,
Well,
it's difficult.
Yeah. Well, Owen, I really hope this gains enough traction that not only do you have Michael J. White sniffing around it again, but that you have The Rock stepping in and you get a full-on bidding war. Because I really want to hear the sentence, the hierarchy of the Black Salt universe is about to change.
Listen, as much as I love The Rock, I don't think he could do any martial art. All he's going to do is just punch things. All right, cool. Is there anything else that you want our listeners to know before we?
No, that if they can help me support it, because I'm trying to get, because it was rolling back then before, if my mother didn't get sick, I really think, but the way I look at it, things happen when they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with the universe and everything like that.
And a dream deferred is not always a dream denied. And you're back. You're chasing your dream. Welcome back. Yes, happy to have you back in this world and doing what you do.
And you know what's funny, man? I really I would put out such an awesome soundtrack because I put Kendrick Lamar because he grew up in Compton where I grew up in Compton. And I would have a nice.
Dude, he blew up the Super Bowl, man.
I would just have, and then what I would do, I would do a contest for the indies and save a slot for, maybe six spots for indies. Because, I'm a big indie guy, because I had my record label and, it's just hard. People don't get a shot nowadays, man. That's just it's just how hard the industry is now. They don't give.
It is. It's tough. It's tough out there.
Get that shot, man. It's a lot harder. That's one thing I found, I saw from back then till after my mother passed and everything. It just seemed like it got even harder, to do this.
Yeah. Well, we need more guys like you that want to give people a shot. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we do this podcast is because we want to give a voice to the people that don't have a voice.
Yes.
Which is really key. So, and listen, you got some great stuff that's happening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really want to see this come to fruition. So I hope that nothing drastic happens in your life moving forward so that you can get this finished and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I will send you the one sheet for the feature so you guys could watch the 30 minutes.
Love it. And then as soon as it launches and stuff like that, if you want to come back on and have a discussion,
definitely.
We'd love to have you back on.
Okay, I would definitely want to come back.
So that'd be really cool. But Owen, thank you all. Like I said, guys, all the information is going to be on the links, so you can attach it. You can go to the Kickstarter launch page as well. Support this brother, bro, because he's got something really. Yeah, I'm really intrigued, and I really want to see this succeed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Owen, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely wonderful. We'd love to have you back on.
Okay, and I'll definitely come back. All
right, awesome, brother. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, guys, that's all that we have for you tonight. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast. Better yet, invite 100 of your friends to come along next time so they can listen along. If you want to be on a podcast, just like Owen was, you want to promote yourself and or project you've got coming up, IndieCreatorComics.com. Click on the podcast tab. John and I would love to have you on. Social media, Indie Creator Comics. We're all over the place. Last but not least, because the medium that we love, support your local comic shops, because without them, we would not be able to do what we love to do, and that is read comics every single week. So until next time, we want to thank you for joining us on the Indie Creator Comics podcast, where we are all about independent comics.